Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the GNOME train.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
And tonight, it will absolutely be possible to stay about World of Warcraft, but we'll still go off the rails, of course. I mean, it's just what we do on the show. But tonight, I am joined by two amazing World of Warcraft streamers that just have an amazing chemistry on set, have one of the coolest overlays, I gotta say. I love, like, the color coordination of your different sections. It's JenEricLive!
Hello!
Hey!
Thanks for having us, dude.
Yes!
Absolutely. Hey, thank you for coming on. I've loved your stream ever since I found it and all that. And like, I wish I had more time to watch streams because I always love catching your streams.
Yeah. Same here. It's always one of those things where it's like whenever I'm doing something on my computer and it's like Frazley's live, I'm like, yes! Frazley's live. I'm at my computer and Frazley's live. I can watch him. So yeah, you have a great stream too. We really enjoy it. We really enjoy your energy, and you're one of the nicest people that we've met since, the whole thing with Mixer and we've came over to Twitch. So yeah, we are actually very honored to be here.
Yes.
For real.
I have to say, I hate to say, when I say blessings of the Mixer thing, is that I feel like we came together as a community even more.
For sure.
It showed us what makes the streaming community amazing. And like the ones who supported people that came over for Mixer, we all got together. The ones who didn't, oh, well, they can fuck off. I mean, the ones who...
Exactly. Yes.
Because we are all part of that wave of Twitch where we want to support each other. We want to see each other grow. And we want people to have a fun time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. And like, I mean, when we came over, I remember you and Des Mephisto were both like, yeah, we'll raid you, we'll give you hosts and stuff. And just like, yeah, it was awesome. It helped us out a lot. It was great.
Awesome. It is awesome.
And like, I love like whenever like people do subs and bits, like the dog toys and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Our dogs are our kids. I mean, we've got 3 of them, and they were like, when we first started streaming, we're like, they're going to be part of our stream no matter what. So
absolutely,
it just gives us more reason to show off our dogs.
Yes. And they enjoy it because they get treats.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hey, same with Chocolate. Chocolate's like, ooh, yes. That's all he wants in here is a treat. And he knows when the camera light's on and he's like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. They know when we're streaming somehow because
we pull the green screens up.
I guess it is. Yeah. They pull the green screens up and stuff and they're just like, oh, they're streaming. That means that there's a chance.
There's a chance.
We're getting some treats.
Yes. And Eric, you've got a beard. Mm-hmm. And someone else in the community has a beard. And that person is Epic Insanity. And Epic Insanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. So what have you been up to recently?
That was a good transition right there.
What's good?
I was just like, where's it going with this beard thing? I do have a beard. That's a good observation there.
After 179 episodes, I hope I'm getting better at my transitions.
Okay, so I have this week. So surprisingly, I've been really into like my garrison again. I think it's because there's a lot less things to do. So I got my mage tower up and I have portals now, but I got hyper focused to get the hyper compressed ocean. And I'm so excited.
Is that the one where you can like fish into it wherever you are?
Yeah.
Oh!
That one seems very
So
annoying
my
to get
thought
to.
was we're going to start raiding in Shadowlands again. So like what's like a good toy that I can have for like whenever we have breaks? And I'm like, oh, that ocean thing. I need to get the ball. I need to get the ocean ball.
Yeah.
So I got it last night and I was super excited. I've been in game today and I haven't even like used the toy, but that's okay.
It's like all kids. We get toys and then we're like, oh, we got it. Okay. Now I don't want
Okay, next, what's the next thing?
Yeah. Mom, Dad, I want that. Oh, okay. What did you give me?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened with my VR headset, where it's spent a lot of money, bought it, and used it, and then I haven't touched it in months. And now I'm like, oh, I feel like playing VR again. And one of the base stations of my VR, like of the setup, is broken.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, now that it's broken, I really, really want to play VR. It's like, before it just sat there until it got broken. And I'm like, oh man, now I want it. But yeah, I've pretty much, was that this week that I decided to switch to race change my
Yes.
Worgen warrior to a dwarf.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He was a human in BC when I started, all the way until Kata. When Kata came out, I was like, oh, Worgens are awesome. So I switched him over to a Worgen, and I was always just like, oh, he was a human that got bit by a Worgen, and then he turned into a Worgen, right? And that worked because I can turn him back human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then now I'm like, I really, really want to main a dwarf because I love dwarves.
All the new customization.
The new customization. So I finally decided to switch him over from a Worgen to a dwarf, and I just say that he got bit by a dwarf, and so now he's a dwarf.
I mean, it works in WoW lore. I mean, because
There you go.
Whatever.
or maybe, you know, like how like some characters can become dragons, maybe dwarfs, or another type of like it's the dwarven flight.
Dwarven flight.
Oh.
It actually explained why we have so many dwarves, and like.
Yep.
I'll be a human today. I'll be a gnome today. My week has been a lot of stuff has happened, but there's really one cool game that I want to talk about. And this was cool. I had been on Twitter, and somebody had said that they were giving out keys to streamers. It's this racing game. You're racing down, and it is procedurally generated on the map. You have obstacles. You got cars. You got trees you got to watch out for. Any wrong moves, you're gonna fall like and die, and you restart again. But I was streaming that last Saturday, and I went for like 5 hours. This was a lot of fun, just like streaming and talking with chat and see how I can go. And then I had one of the devs say that they enjoyed watching it. They enjoyed that actually they had a part of their game that they were wondering if it was a good design flaw, and they were like, "Okay, Frazley likes it. Okay, it must be good." So
Nice.
I loved being able to like show off a game that a dev had been working on, and then it was cool having a dev actually clip one of the scenes, and then like was excited to watch it. So I love that interactivity. I remember there was an episode with Spaz where we played Jackbox. Had one of the people of Jackbox that was watching it.
Oh wow,
That's
cool.
neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I would love if one of the mount people in WoW would ever like watch a stream, because then they could see that like I got the Altraxian mount finally. Experiment 12B.
Wow, that's awesome.
Maybe they're watching because I got the clutch of Jakun.
You feel like they're watching because of that?
I feel like it because I got 2 mounts in one night. I mean,
Maybe.
They're like,
They should. I hope. Well, send them our way, man, because I need some mounts.
I got
still haven't
Invincible.
gotten. Yeah, you got Invincible. I still haven't gotten Invincible.
I got Ashes. I got Infinite Time Reaver. I mean, I don't know what there is that I don't have yet.
somebody had gotten a mount in Guild this week, and they had posted in chat, and they're like, "Oh, I think it was the spider in Mechagon." And I was trying to congrats them, but instead I was all, woohoo! And I was like, yeah, spider mount! And they thought I got it. And they were like, wait, what? Jin got it too? And I was like, no. I'm just saying, like, congratulations to you. And there was a whole confusion.
That's
but
funny.
Yeah,
no, I actually got a bunch of mounts this week, but only because I was doing, right out on after reset, we got flying in Warlords of Draenor and Legion.
Yeah.
We didn't have it before. So I was like, cool, I'm going to knock out these freaking Draenor rares. And I got like 5 of the Draenor rares, like all at once, one after another. So yeah,
I need to do
cool.
that.
I've like flown around and I've never been that lucky. I wonder if one of it's because I hate to say it, there were like a lot of server issues. I wonder if the people weren't farming those like they typically were.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
was thinking,
true.
that maybe because it was like server reset just happened, and then I went out there and just got them all, one after another.
That's true, because when I couldn't even connect, and you were up, and you were in,
Oh yeah, I was running Outgrade Pinnacle for the blue Protodrake.
Did you finally get that one?
No, I haven't. I've been farming that one since Wrath, man. It's like I've not gotten that stupid mount.
I won't tell you I got after 6 runs.
Oh no! Wow. Yeah, Retrocade is he got it like recently, or not recently, but he had gotten it too, and he was just like, "Oh, I got this mount." And I was like, I've been farming that mount forever. Why?"
I feel bad because it's like I am glad to get these, but I also feel bad for people that have been working on these for the longest time.
There's a purple butterfly that's Poppy, and it's a super rare pet apparently, and everybody wants that pet. And I just was I was trying to get the bee mount. I was farming for the bee mount, the honey, and so I was doing one of the little bee events, and it dropped, and I was like, "Oh, hey, cool, I got a pet." And this dude that was in chat was in like next to me. He was just like, "Oh my god, I've been farming that forever," and I was like, "I don't even know what it is. I'm sorry."
And guess who has it now?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I give it to Jen.
I do.
I had that with the Infinite Time Reaper. I forgot that there was even a mount that could drop in time walking. And I was like, what is this? Oh, it's the Infinite Time Reaper.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that kind of happened to a friend of mine when back during Wrath of the Lich King, he was flying through where the Time Lost Proto-Drake is, and he didn't know what it was, and he was just like, he saw it, and he was like, oh, hey, it's a rare. I wonder if I can kill it by myself. And so he landed and killed it, and he was like, oh, guys, I got this mount, and he had no idea. And I was like, that's one of the freaking rarest mounts in the game. And it's still one of the rarest mounts in the game, and it's never there. And he doesn't play anymore. I wish he could have gifted that.
Oh,
thing to me. He hasn't played in years.
No,
That's the
yeah,
roughest
that's
thing.
true.
Yeah.
It's like they get this. I knew somebody who they gave it to their partner that they were dating, and then their partner broke up with them right afterwards. And it's like, well, fuck you! I should have just kept it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, that was a mistake.
You're dating me for the mounts, weren't you?
They're nothing but a mountain digger.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, sometimes you never know what's right in front of you or just down the street.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you two have a very cool story. So how did you two meet?
So you see, what happened was I was living with my dad in like the house I grew up in. I had moved off to college. That didn't go so well. So I came back home and was on a dating website called Geek2Geek and came across a message. So I paid for the account. So if you paid for the account, then anybody on the site could message you for free. So there was a message and it said, what class and race do you play in World of Warcraft?
Smooth. It's my best pickup line.
I mean, there are way worse things you could ask for a pickup line.
Way better ones too.
And honestly, I don't think I had messaged back for maybe a week or so because I was like, man, I don't want somebody that just wants, like, I already have friends that I play WoW with. I don't want another, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with another friend, but like I was on there like looking for the love of my life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I found it. So we messaged, we made level 1 humans and ran to Stormwind. And like our first like date was in Stormwind, like near the little fountain near like the auction house and the bank, like right there. So
and
yeah.
I converted her from Horde.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I had to go Alliance before we got married.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like she was like, yeah, I play Horde, you know, and she had pretty much always played Horde, but I was like, oh, I play Alliance and fuck the Horde, so
like I didn't care either way.
And she was like, whatever. That's
yeah.
like, so she was playing Horde because she liked the races that she was playing on Horde. You know, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to play Horde. So she played Alliance and has been playing Alliance for the most part since then because I'm the one that's I'm the one that's picky about it. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard about prenuptials or like, and like you should have had like a vow, like Alliance till we part or something like that.
Well, we did have.
Oh, so
what was in our vows? It was something about you were going to heal.
I would
me.
always heal.
Yeah. Because you were like following me to whatever server I go to or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we actually lived like in the same neighborhood. So he didn't have a car. So like for our first date, I went and picked him up. But so when he sent me his address, I just like my reply back to him was just a link to MapQuest.
Yeah.
Because we just celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
And then it was in the same neighborhood.
3 months later,
Mm-hmm.
he proposed to me while I was making Kraft macaroni and cheese in the kitchen.
With a $30 ring. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, mac and cheese is good.
Mac and cheese is good, yeah.
Mac and cheese. It's funny because
clearly that was really good mac and cheese.
Several years later, he had found on Etsy, it was like a ring and it was like a bowl of macaroni and cheese on the ring.
I was like, I need to
He's like, I missed an opportunity.
Perfect one.
And do you ever have like macaroni and cheese on like your anniversaries and stuff like that?
We should. Why haven't we done that?
Why have you not thought of that?
That's a thing. Why
I'm blaming
don't we eat
you.
macaroni and cheese.
Because we have macaroni and cheese probably like all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not special if you have it all the time.
I mean, maybe we have to like get like a new recipe every year.
We get the macaroni and cheese from that one place.
And it might be hard to narrow this down, but what is one of your favorite memories of your relationship so far?
Man, that is a tough one. Because we've gone on we like to
man.
travel within the U.S. Unfortunately, is for the most part. But I don't know. There's been a lot of times. All our times cosplaying at conventions has been really awesome to me because I cosplay Mario, like crossover with Fallout. Jen is Peach, crossover with Fallout. So yeah, it's like the first thing that we had really done together that had gotten us it gotten a lot of attention. So it went kind of viral on the internet and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. But also, yeah, most of our trips together, like we went to Alaska recently. And that was just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you go in Alaska?
We left out of Seattle, and
it was a cruise.
Yeah, so it was a cruise. We had a balcony on the back of the ship.
Yeah.
So I remember we were in a fjord, and we were on the back of the balcony, and it was just the fjord walls were so close to the boat. They probably weren't, but just kind of from the angle. It was so pretty though.
We went to Ketchikan.
Ketchikan.
I can't remember the other ones.
Skagway.
Ketchikan, Skagway.
There was a stop in Victoria.
And then there was the main one. What's the capital of Alaska?
Juneau?
Is it Juneau?
Juneau.
It was Juneau.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and it was beautiful. We were like, we need to stay here forever. I don't want to ever go.
Yeah, what do I need to do to move here? Do I have to be a tour guide? Because I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think Alaska is one of the hidden treasures of the United States because not a lot of people go there.
Well, because people automatically think that when they think of Alaska, they think of just frozen tundra, Yeah. And it wasn't. When we went there, it was actually, I was kind of upset when we went there because it was unseasonably warm. It was in the 80s.
We were in shorts and t-shirts.
And I was I want cold. I'm from Texas. I need cold. Why are you giving me this? But it was still beautiful.
On our cruise that we took, the week before, it had people had been sunbathing. That week it was so cold that we actually did not buy coats. So we bought coats there. It was like a polar bear plunge in the pool. So They said it can change sometimes there, just like that.
Yeah. That's it. But it was still a lot of fun. So,
I mean, not to go back to World of Warcraft also though, but so last year was also the first year we went to BlizzCon, and I think that whenever you haven't been to BlizzCon, in your mind, or at least for me, I envisioned the banners on the front of the convention center. That image to me is kind of when you thought of BlizzCon as what it was. So I think seeing that and being this is the reason we met was because of Blizzard and World of Warcraft, and we're here. That was kind of a surreal
it would have been better
moment.
if we actually got to meet Frazley.
I probably walked by you at some point.
It was
I'm
an almost
sure.
meet. Well, we know that because he was at the Con Before the Storm.
Yeah.
So we definitely would past you there because we were there too.
I was next to Loch Ness and I didn't even realize till it was an episode of Stories on Azeroth with you that I realized I was sitting next to Loch Ness because I was
Yeah,
that's right.
and we had and the funny thing is we were trying so hard to stay up for that panel, because it was the latest one, but we had flown in that day and we were so tired. I remember sitting down in the little hallway outside being all right, we have 2 more hours, we can do this. And then we were I'm so sorry, Locke, we have to go to bed or we're not going to be able to get up tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I had flown in and because of a toilet lock on one of the planes, my flight got delayed and I got moved over all these flights. I didn't get into it until late. I was just exhausted from flying, and I was at Come Before the Storm for the meet and greet. But then as soon as it was done, one of my friends wanted me to walk them back to their hotel to just make sure that they were safe. And I was so then after that, I got an Uber back to my hotel because I was perfect excuse for me to go to sleep.
Yeah.
How far away from the convention center did you say?
I was about 5 to 6 minutes, which was $6 on Uber, so it was not bad.
Yeah,
that's
we were in
bad.
walking distance. We were right in the corner. So yeah, it was nice being. We usually will spend a little bit extra money at a convention to be closer, just because that's so. Especially if you're cosplaying. We didn't cosplay this year, but we are planning. If BlizzCon happens next year,
yes,
we're planning on cosplaying. I'm gonna have my full dwarf costume, and Jen will have something. I don't know. I don't know if she'll have her dwarf. We're working on
a female dwarf.
Yeah.
I have to say the cosplay there. I have not seen a lot of cosplay except for going to Origins here. I saw cosplay there, But like, it was cool at BlizzCon seeing all the cosplay. I saw Little Sparks and her amazing Chrome cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I've seen this for years, and it's right in front of me. So,
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of amazing costumes that you've seen them on the internet, you know, and then you're just like, oh my god, that's that cosplayer, like that had that awesome, like there was this Orisa cosplay from Overwatch.
Oh, yes.
It was incredible. And I was like, I've seen pictures of this, and they were there, you know, it was really awesome.
And Little Sparks had meant a lot to me because during one of her panels she did years ago about cosplay, someone asked her, how do you find time to do cosplay? And she said, if you love something, you will find time for it. And I had started podcasting. I was going back and forth on streaming, and her words spoke true that if I really want something, I will find the time. I will make time work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Your free time becomes that.
Right.
Absolutely. And like, our free time is definitely a lot of streaming. Like,
yeah.
But before we get into streaming, though, the other part of our fun time is gaming. I want to know, how did you get into gaming?
I've been gaming since I was very, very little. Like, I mean, my dad was really into, you know, manly stuff, sports and cars.
Oh, yeah.
He's a mechanic, you know. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, and me and my older brother were always just like, we wanted to play video games, and we were staying inside playing the Super Nintendo and, you know, building computers when we were young. We built a computer so that we could play PC games and stuff from like parts that we had gotten from friends of our church. So I've been playing games for years. I've been a freaking hardcore video game nerd for a very long time. And then Jen played video games when she was younger too with her mom.
Yeah, I played
Zelda.
video games with generic mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Zelda, the Mario. She loves like Tetris, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then I got more into like the MMO and a little bit more advanced type of games, like in adulthood.
Mm-hmm. My family was playing Tetris while I was being born, so I've got like this in the womb feel to Tetris, because I think as I was like being born, and I think I was on the cusp of like a realization. I remember this. And by the way, we have Allie in the chat room, and Allie also met her husband on Geek to Geek.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
No
well, that's
way.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I've never met somebody else that's met from that site. Every time we mention that site, they're just like, there's a site like that. Oh, Marie did meet him. Wait, she did? Oh.
Anyway,
yeah, it's
awesome.
Such an obscure site. Like, you're like, there's a dating site for geeks? That's weird, but
yeah.
I mean, there's some for farmers. Why not geeks?
Farmers only, so come on.
And you know, I'm glad Blizzard never got into dating sites and stuff like that, because I think their best thing is their games. And
oh yeah,
how did you get into Blizzard and World of Warcraft?
Jen, how did you start playing WoW?
Are you asking because you don't know?
I honestly don't.
Oh.
I honestly don't. Yeah. How did
one
you
of the
start
guys
playing
I
WoW?
was dating was playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
That's why I was like, do you really not know?
Okay.
Like, I'm sure I've told you, Eric does not have a great memory.
No, I don't. I have a horrible memory. So I got into Blizzard games because of Warcraft. I played Warcraft 1 a lot when I was in school. One of my neighbors had it on his computer, and so I would always go over to his house and play it. So yeah, and then also the Lost Vikings. I played the Lost Vikings with my older brother when we were kids, and I loved that there was a Viking named Eric. So I was just like, yeah, my name's
Yeah.
So,
That is my name.
so that's why I always chose him. But yeah, we played the Lost Vikings a lot as a kid. So that was the introduction to Blizzard. And then my older brother played vanilla when it was like released back in 2004 when it came out. And I played on his account. I made a warrior on his account, and I would play on his account. And eventually he stopped playing, so I had to make my own account. So I started in Burning Crusades, my own account that I've been playing since then. So yeah, that's how I got into it, is my older brother pretty much.
You mentioned rating earlier, so I take it like your play styles, rating, leveling.
It depends.
We're like all over the place,
yeah,
honestly.
it changes from.
It depends on the season.
It changes from expansion to expansion, honestly. Because
that's true.
I mean, when Jen rated a lot in Burning Crusades,
yeah,
and then we rated together in Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm. But then in Mr. Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, and Legion, we didn't rate at all. And in Warlords of Draenor and in Legion, we barely even played. We bought the game, got to max level, and then stopped playing on both of those two expansions. And it was just, I think that during that time we were playing Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, yeah.
And it was holding our attention a lot more than WoW was. So yeah, then it was BFA was when we had come back to it and gotten really like back into it. It, you know, sunk our feet into it. So
Yeah.
I'd say BFA was an amazing, like, to come back. But like Final Fantasy 14, the years you were playing, I wasn't playing. And I've heard people say that was even better than the main story quest of like the original Final Fantasy Realm Reborn. So they said you played during some of the best Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. They were like Heaven's Ward, a Realm Reborn, and then Heaven's Ward. Heaven's Ward was really good. And then we've heard from Retrocade was the one that got us into that one as well. And we had heard from him that I think it was the most recent one is really good as well.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to, like, Loch Ness and our friend Jamie Lynn and a bunch of them got into it more recently. Like, they had started playing it again. And they would just be streaming it all the time. And so I was like, man, I really want to play. Like, I'm just watching them and I'm like, I want to play it so bad. But Shadowlands is coming out soon. So I can't split my time between 2 MMOs because I don't have that time. I don't have the time for 1 MMO. So
Yeah.
I had to make the decision to stick with WoW. Final Fantasy 14 is an amazing game, and I hate it when people start to get to that, you know, like, oh, World of Warcraft's better than Final Fantasy, or you know, like it's an argument. Like, it's not. Just let them be two separate things.
Yeah.
They're both great games.
They're both awesome.
Sometimes one you enjoy more than the other, and you know it goes back and forth. But they're both great games.
Absolutely, and like one has like there are certain features I wish WoW had that Final Fantasy 14 had.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Housing, yeah.
Oh yes.
I spent so much time decorating. I lost so many hours into that game.
I had a room in my free company house, and that was so much fun just going in there, like changing stuff up and like buying stuff on their auction house to do all this stuff.
Yeah, that was Jen's favorite thing to do. It was funny watching Locke realize for the first time that she could get a room in the free company. Like, she was like super excited about it, and it was fun watching her be like
excited for the first time.
Jen was like, she's going to spend the rest of the stream in there, and she
Yes!
It was funny because we were lurking too, like we weren't even really watching.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I was like, so how long did you stay up last night?
the whole night working
The whole
on that
night.
stuff.
3 a.m.
And like they have that the Golden Cactar where you can like spend all your time playing those games.
Oh, yeah, the
Saucer.
Gold Saucer.
Yeah, Gold Saucer, yes. And I love that place. Like I would always go there to play the lottery and all that.
Yeah, Chocobo Racing actually was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Like,
yeah,
I was like, oh, this is actually
Could
pretty
you
cool.
imagine if they put some kind of like casino-esque type of thing into WoW?
Be interesting.
Oh.
It would definitely be Gnome Run though. So you know, like,
yes. Ooh,
It would be.
bring back Kazan more than just the mother load. Add in a casino area and the goblins.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
they could too. They could do it. They have the lore. I mean, you have like a goblin / gnome run casino. Like, that would totally work.
Yeah. Oh, you're making me want like. Well, one of the things like Final Fantasy 14 has that I think was really cool was the chocobo mount that you could like add armor to, and
Yeah.
And you could summon it to be it could fight with you. Like,
yeah,
no matter what class you were, you can have him like out and fight with you. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I liked that too.
and like respect to basically, I need you to do this. I need you to do this.
Yep.
Oh,
He could be a healer. He could be a caster. Yeah. It was really cool. It's a really cool
That is
feature.
cool. I forgot about that.
I had my free company master help me get my chocobo the perfect color of the Dalaran red, and it was
Nice. That's another thing that World of Warcraft really needs to do: dyeing armor.
yeah,
Like that because
Yes.
I sat
Please.
there. I sat there today trying to come up with like a purple set for my warrior because I have the.
They won't do that. They'll
No.
never do that.
I got the Claymore of the Prophet, which is one of my favorite two-handed swords, and I play Freer Warrior, so I can have 2 of them. And I had rocked those swords for the longest time, and I was like, I kind of want to bring those back. So I was looking for a purple set that, you know, and I was like, this would look really cool if I could dye it purple. Like, it's not the right shade. So yeah, dyeing armor would be amazing.
I remember getting eternally bonded to somebody in my free company. I had no clue who they were, but I wanted the transmog because then I made the transmog kind of like a maroon purple.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, Jen and I never did.
We were supposed to do that.
And we stopped playing.
We were like, oh yeah, because we were going to do it like on our anniversary, but then
Because you get the,
stopped playing.
what is it, the rings or whatever that allow you to summon or
teleport,
something?
Yeah.
Or teleport to each other, yeah.
And the Mog and like the ceremony Oh, this ceremony was so cool. Even though my eternal bonding partner was wearing a giant chocobo costume, and I was like wearing the Moogle costume. So,
Did you play a Lalafell?
yes. I was Bibinasu Tatanasu.
Nice.
I always want to call them Taru-Tarus because that's what they were called in Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, yes.
Like it was a similar kind, sort of race. So, but they're Lalafells.
I remember meeting. There was one of those that was in Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, that was in Final Fantasy 11 and was like a mean one. Well, they had a crossover event in Final Fantasy 14. I was over in Oregon. And I had my Vita out, and we were at a Wegmans, which had good Wi-Fi on the trip. I remember remote playing into my PS4 from my Vita, trying to do that holiday quest because it was going to end up before I got home. So, just so I could get that little pet of that Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Character. Yeah,
that's another thing I really like about the game is they do a lot of crossovers. Like, of course, they bring other Final Fantasy games. Like, you can have Cloud's outfit and the Fenrir, which is the Cloud's motorcycle. That's really cool. Like, I don't remember the name of the car, but the 4-seater, they have 4-seater mounts.
I know. Yes.
Which is like, give us 4-seater mounts, man. We only got like 2-seaters. Well, 3-seaters. We've got 3-seaters because of the mammoths.
Yeah, but you sit so weird on the side of them. Like you're in a kid harness. Like,
it's very strange. Oh, yeah, but they had the car from Final Fantasy, what is it, Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, yeah.
They added the regalia.
And when King's Quest came out, they had a event where you could play, and I got the King Slime has a hat, so I'm walking around my Lalafell with the King Slime hat.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like, I wish Blizzard would do more of that kind of stuff, Like they do mini little crossovers like with
I have a Winston
their
pet,
own games.
but more things
exactly.
like that.
Winston pet, they had like the Space Marine Murloc that you could get from BlizzCon a few years ago or something. They did the Hearthstone Hearthsteed and, the Hearthstone toys. So they do with their own games, but I really think that I think it would be awesome if they did like another IP crossover. Like I just found out that Solaire was in the game. Like they had a Solaire NPC. I gotta write that down. He's not like legit Solaire, but he's pretty much is, they pay homage to him.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be, and you could do /praise. And he just like the sun just goes like burn, like it's really cool, dude.
And I could even see them adding things like, what if you were watching a Blizzard game and they give you a drop in game? Like could you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine like, what if I was watching Overwatch League on, that would be on YouTube because Switch was there, but it would still be cool if a streamer was playing Overwatch and whatever game you were playing at Blizzard, you would get something in that game. I mean,
yeah.
It would increase streaming of Blizzard games. And
that's true.
Yeah, it would.
How did you get into streaming?
So we used to do YouTube. We did a lot of YouTube. And Jen and I had a series on YouTube called Generic Minecraft. Yeah, we played Minecraft together. We were doing a bunch of like Let's Plays and stuff on there. We were doing the Retrocade 64. It was called Strictly Nerd. If you guys, it's still up. We don't actually update it or anything anymore, but there's still a lot of content on there if anybody wants to watch it. But yeah, so Jen and I were doing that. We were having a really good time. It was our, most popular series on the channel. People seem to be enjoying it. And in gaming in a way that's more for entertainment, not just us playing games together, in our off time. We were doing it as entertainers. Jen had started to kind of come into her own as an entertainer, and she was really funny. And I was like, Jen is really, she is entertaining to me. So we decided that we're like, because I streamed for a while by myself, but I was like, well, let's just start streaming together. And we didn't want to have two separate channels. We wanted to stream on the same stream because, we're talking to each other and everything. And people feel like they're hanging out with two people at once, and they can say, hey, Jen, this, or hey, Eric, this, and all in the same chat,
Yeah.
People really seem to enjoy it. And, Jen and I have a good night dynamic together, I hope, because.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the things that I love, and I love that it's even coming through on the podcast. But like I always love watching it because it gets rid of that thing that like solo streamers have, where like you're talking to yourself or chat.
Yeah. I've always said that was something that we had like a one up on solo streamers is
Oh yeah.
when you're streaming and you've got 1 or 0 people in there, you still have to sit there and be like, all right, well, I'm going to do this and that, because otherwise it's a dead stream and it could be boring. And so with Jen and I, we just have to talk to each other,
But I mean, don't get me wrong though. Like there's times where like, let's say like we're doing something in game and it's like a critical, like we're watching a cutscene, like we're probably both like mouths like wide open,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whoa.
We get quiet, but it's a lot easier for us to just sit there and talk to make the stream more interesting because we can
sure.
just talk to each other.
And if you ever do have to like one has to go to the bathroom, I like how you are so smooth with the transitions on your streaming. It is, you have an amazing overlay. I got to say, I love how you designed that.
Thank you. We had seen the idea from like, other streamers. The way that we used to have it was my gameplay would be full and then you would have Jen on one side, me on the other, and we'd green screened. And then I would just switch to Jen's gameplay and it would be full screen. And people liked that because they could see more of the gameplay. But we had suggestions that like, okay, well, it might be confusing for people and some people
like
are saying
accessibility type of thing.
Yeah, and then they say that stuff like, okay, well, something just funny just happened in Jen's game, but we were watching mine, so we missed it. So we ended up switching to that overlay that we have now, and I did it so that it's not cut up into 4 exactly the same quadrants, because then the gameplay is too small, and there's this huge window for us, our face cams, which aren't as important. I redesigned it so that the gameplay was bigger and it just cuts off like in the middle, and our face cams are a little smaller, and people really liked it. So
it works so well. And you've color coded it where like, if you ever have to maximize, who's maximized at that time.
Yeah, exactly. Jen is orange and I'm blue. Those are the colors of our stream. So yeah, Jen's orange, I'm blue. So if ever it's showing an orange screen, that's Jen's. Or the way that we have it set up is so that it has Jen's little icon at the top, and then the orange line goes over, down, and then around her screen. So that's hers, and the blue one's mine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that it translates.
Oh, it really does. And like I said, it's fun. I love catching your streams for that because I love seeing the interactions of couples. And you, I thank you for sharing the joy that you have for each other on your stream.
Thanks.
Sure.
I'm glad that comes across.
I'm glad we don't argue on stream.
To be 100% honest, we don't really argue a lot off stream either.
Yeah, no.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, people would say they're like, if you're in a relationship where you don't argue all the time, then, there's red flags. And I'm like, I don't know. Me and Jen have been together for 10 years and we don't really argue a lot, but that's good, I guess.
And you're funny together. I do like when you play argue every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like I said, I had come from, when I was in high school, I was in theater, and then I went to media tech, which is like film production. So I had come from like this idea of me wanting to be in entertainment. So everything that I have done, just like, okay, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be YouTube. I want to do YouTube, or I was in a band for a while. Like, I just wanted to be an entertainer. So I'm glad that Jen is able to also entertain really well, because when we first started, Jen was very much like, it was like
this. Hello, welcome to our channel.
Like, yeah, she was just
it was so awkward, y'all. It was
and I was like, you need to learn to speak to people like they're your friends.
Yeah.
And not like you're presenting, at your 5th grade assembly or something. So, but she's gotten really good at it. She doesn't do it at all anymore.
And it takes a long time to get into your element. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
It does.
It took me a long time to get comfortable. I mean, I never would have expected I would be talking right now on a podcast to other people.
Yeah, and you do a good job at it. So
Yeah.
Well, what is an obstacle that you've had to overcome that people might not realize?
I get really attached to viewers.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
That's true. We'll have people who are around and they're chatting and hanging out, and then they're gone. And you don't see them for, weeks or months, or sometimes they just disappear altogether.
It's like Mama Jen sets in and just like, we haven't seen so-and-so in a while. Do you think they're okay? And it's like, I'm sure they're fine. Like, but should I message them just to like make sure they're okay? Like, no, don't mess. Like, okay.
Yeah,
But I hope they're okay though. And Eric's like, I know.
She does get attached to people who are regulars at one point and then kind of don't, they disappear. But it's also like one of those things where it's you know, she would get in her head like, did we do something? Did we scare them away? What did we do wrong to make them leave? And I'm like, you have to think about the fact that these are people who are sitting down in front of their computer and watching you on a screen. It's the same as flipping through channels on a TV, you know?
Yeah.
Or choosing to watch another Netflix series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not personal, you know? It just so happens that they're like, well, this is interesting right now. I'm going to watch this. And, you know, maybe they lose interest. Maybe they don't watch streams at all. Because before we started streaming, I never watched streams. I was never into watching streams. And then we started streaming and I started getting into it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and now I really enjoy, you know, a number of streamers. But before I watched YouTube, like I watched the Game Grumps on YouTube or something, but I never really, you know, paid attention to streams. So there's people who are going to go through these different times, you know, where they're like, I don't really care anymore. Yeah, that's definitely one. And then I think another one is getting, I don't know if it's not necessarily something that an obstacle with it people don't see, because it's very apparent that Jen and I are both overweight. And so we get a lot of overweight trolls. We have to deal with that kind of thing where if we're sitting there streaming to, you know, 5 people after stream, we're just like, nobody's watching us because we're fat, you know? And it's very hard to fight that stupid voice in your head that's saying, you're overweight, you're unattractive, that's why nobody's watching you. You need to be thin and good looking, and, you know, then you'll be successful.
It's weird how like trolls or even an offhand comment can just dig at you. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
You know what happened recently that was really weird? And I don't know why it like got to us so much. It's when people come in and they're like really nice and they're talking to you and like you're like, oh yeah, like dude, we're gonna have like a new like regular, and then they like they're like trolls who are like super nice and friendly up front, and then they troll you.
Yeah, I've had that to me before, and it's just like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? Are you one of those like nice guys? Are you like, okay, and then yeah.
It's so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, it hadn't really happened before. And it was just kind of like, I was like, I feel like I can't trust anybody now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense because they come into your stream and you're nothing but nice to them the whole time. And you're just trying to have a good time and be friendly. And then they're suddenly, you know, it's just out of nowhere insulting you and talking shit about you. And you're like, where did that come from, man? We were just being genuinely good people. But it's the anonymity of the internet, as Penny Arcade calls it, the greater dickwad theory, where it's if you take a person and you give them anonymity, and then, you know, they take an asshole, give them anonymity, they become dickheads.
I've had it where like people get to know you and then they think, okay, because I've subbed to you or donated to you, I'm entitled to you, or like, it's like I'll make a change to a stream or something that I'm doing, and someone's like, well, no, I liked you for doing this. And it's like, I'm sorry. I mean, I do not mean to offend you, but I have to make this change, or I want to make this change, or that thing that you like, I really don't like. But,
yeah.
And then like, they're like, okay, fine, I'm taking my sub and leaving. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. I mean, you watch the stream for the streamer. And if you're not watching for the streamer, then, I mean, who cares? You can go.
Yeah.
We had people who, when we switched our layout to the newer one, were like, I don't like this one. I like the old layout. I can't see anything. I can't see the gameplay. And we're just kind of like, I understand that, but there's also a lot more pros to it, and we have a lot more positive feedback, so we're just going to stick with this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Hottie Chicken says, at the end of the day, it is your stream, and it's what you're doing. Like, you can get feedback, but you have to also go for what's best for you.
Yeah. And a good streamer listens to their community, but you're not gonna leave it up to just what one person is saying or what, you know, the minority is saying. You're like, kind of like, well, more people will enjoy this than dislike it, and then we personally prefer something. So this is the way it's going to be, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I care about what a viewer thinks, but I also have to go for what's best for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that comes down to like what game you play.
Yeah.
When Jen and I first started streaming, we played Fortnite. And we played Fortnite for 2 reasons. One, Jen really liked it. I thought it was okay, so I played it, but it was the game to play on Mixer.
Yeah.
And so we were playing it because we're like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play Fortnite. This is how you get views. And it did get us views, but it also just got us a bunch of trolls. It got us a bunch of people who just wanted to play a game with a streamer and didn't really care about the streamer. And, we didn't get a lot of, actually, I don't think anybody who started following us or watching us at that time still follows us. I think that they're all pretty much all gone, because they didn't really, and it wasn't a game that we really enjoyed playing ourselves. We were like, I really want to play Minecraft or World of Warcraft, but we couldn't because we thought that we would lose views. And then we stopped caring and we were just, let's just do something I enjoy and let's just do something that's fun. We ended up building a community off of that, and it's been awesome since. So,
and did you ever get the people who hop in? Hey, can I play? Sorry, or maybe wait a little bit. Or maybe we'll get to know you, and then they're gone, and you're like,
oh yeah,
okay,
yeah. We had on Mixer, you had levels. Like you had to have certain levels in your chat, and so people would be like, yeah, you have to be above this level in order to even play with us, because the way that we did it is you had to be watching. You had to have watched the stream for a certain number of hours before actually being able to get onto our Minecraft server, because we've actually had people join our Minecraft server and burn it to the ground. Like,
oh yes,
that ended up being a mod too. That was kind of sad.
That's a whole other story for another day.
Bad experience with one of our first mods that did not end well.
Oh, I still remember, you mentioned griefing, and I used to run a Minecraft server, and not to brag, I had 45 people on at our peak in that day.
That's awesome.
Only because I was on an original Minecraft subreddit, and I was in one of the first Minecraft Let's Play, so it was the perfect timing of it. Yeah. But also had all the griefers. I had this amazing hub world, and all of a sudden I log in one day. There's lava all the way down, and I'm like, oh shit, no.
Yeah, it was so hard to figure out who had done it, but we finally figured out who had done it.
It took us and the help of our other mods, kind of
our other
like mods. Who was on it this time, who was the last one on, like who would have done. We were able to figure it out,
but we've had we've played with people who are new to the stream, and they just want to screw with people, and like that's why one of the things that people would say on Mixer was they would call them the blueberries, which were the people who didn't have avatars. So it was that little blue image of a robot. And they would come in and they would say, 1v1 me, playing Fortnite. And they were like, 1v1 me, 1v1 me, because they just wanted to get on to a stream and beat the streamer and then be like, I beat that streamer, Yeah. And it was kind of like, that's not what this is about, man. This is about us having fun and just us being entertained and other people being entertained by us. Because if we're not entertained with what we're doing, we're not going to be entertaining,
Absolutely. Simian, it says you have to enjoy what you're doing with streaming. And it's what's the point?
Yep, exactly. We actually got to a point where we weren't really enjoying it anymore, and we took a hiatus.
We did. It was like 5 weeks.
Yeah, we took a hiatus for 5 weeks, and we liked not having to stream, but then we missed our community.
Yeah.
We missed, we were missing streaming. So
we're off work, and we don't have to do anything.
So then we came back. And like a month later, we got partnered on Mixer. That was kind of a sign for us. We were like, yeah, we're supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be streaming. And then Mixer went under, and that was, a sign.
That was another sign.
We don't take that as a sign.
I'm glad that we as a Twitch family were able to welcome you in, because I can't imagine what you were going through. Like, we're back here. Oh shit! It's like
yeah. As a Mixer streamer, Twitch was very scary almost, because that's where all the big streamers are. That's where all the top freaking thousands of viewers and stuff like that, and that's where all the mean people are, because that was kind of how Mixer as a community portrayed Twitch as the place where everybody on there is a troll, and turns out that's actually not the case. Like, we don't have to deal with trolls. I honestly think we had to deal with more trolls on Mixer than we do here on Twitch. And the reason is Mixer had a lot more kids watching.
Yes.
Yep. Kids just want to be straight up trolls. Like, kids just, they want to come in and they just want to be like, you guys are fat, and then you ban them and they're gone. But it happened a lot more often.
Well, because it was accessible on their Xbox.
It's on the Xbox. Yeah. Whereas here on Twitch, we don't really run into that as much, and we find that the trolls are a lot more strategic on Twitch. They don't
because
just
they become your friends first.
Yeah, they don't come in and just start talking shit. They'll actually, try to be nice at first, but we're actually having a great time on Twitch. We're having a good time. It's hard to not feel like we've had to start from nothing and everything was taken away from us. But we see other streamers who were partnered on Mixer who are streaming to less than 10 people. And while we're streaming to like 20 plus usually. And so I'm like, okay, we need to actually accept that as we're doing well, you know?
Yeah.
Because on Mixer, we were streaming to 40 or 50, but there was a lot of lurkers and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like our chat is usually popping whenever we're streaming to like, 20 people. So I was like, we need to not think of it that way, because then we almost seem ungrateful that we even have that many people, that are in our community and that watch us regularly. So we're doing well. It's just hard to be a partner on one platform and then get knocked down to, nothing and then an affiliate, which affiliate is actually pretty awesome on Twitch. I will say.
I was one of the ones who was championing that. I think anybody who had been a Mixer partner should have been a Twitch partner. And I know that's a very controversial opinion, but in certain aspects, your requirements on Mixer are higher than affiliate, like way higher. And you have to show a lot of social capital.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a lot of people who were just like, oh, well, partner on Mixer is the same as affiliate. And are like, if you look at it on paper, maybe, but when you think of it this way, if I'm going to BlizzCon and I say I'm a Mixer partner, can I get a media badge? They're probably going to say yes. And in fact, we know that they will because they gave Locke one. But if you're like, I'm a Twitch affiliate, they're going to be like, okay, well, there's 1 million people that are Twitch affiliates. So the title of partner on Mixer held a lot more weight than being an affiliate on Twitch. Even though you're getting a lot of the same benefits with subs and all that kind of stuff, you still had that title that allowed you, it opened more opportunities.
Yeah, it opened doors to sponsors and gaming companies too for different things.
It definitely is not that it wasn't the same, but we're still having a great time as affiliate. I mean, we're not like making any less money. And it wasn't until recently that we actually depended more on the money that we make from Twitch, because we both had jobs, but now I've quit to do art.
Oh, wow.
So I'm doing art like free.
I like to say that Eric is now self-employed.
I'm a self-employed professional artist. I say professional.
I love that.
I'm a self-employed boy.
I'm a self-employed boy. But yeah, so I do like emotes and sub badges, and I just finished drawing a D&D party, like a party of 5 D&D characters and then their DM. Which is awesome to draw. And I actually have another commission to do that too. So that's what I've been doing. And the reason I left my job is because I worked in a job where I was going to be subjected to interacting with a bunch of people who could possibly give me COVID. And Jen and I are both high risk. If we get COVID. So I said, we both decided that wasn't going to happen. Jen's work from home. We're able to pay our bills with her paycheck, but any other money that we would need needs to come from Twitch and my income. So now Twitch matters, but we're making about the same amount, if not a little bit more on Twitch than we were on Mixer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, it's actually been pretty great over here on Twitch.
And I would say like Twitch, I think is harder to discover sometimes because of how many people are there. Yeah. But I'm glad to know that it's been a successful transition from Mixer to Twitch.
Yeah. And we also have like a plus. I think that Jen and I do have an advantage whenever it comes to, if you're going through the World of Warcraft category and you're scrolling through.
And if you're scrolling, if you're hitting that wheel
through, we stand out because you've got 2 people.
Yeah.
And you've got the 2 gameplay. Our stream stands out to people. We've actually had people rate us because they're like, oh, this is different, or this is interesting. And they click on us and they're like, oh yeah, these people are nice. Let's raid them. And so, we've gotten raids for that reason. That was when we got raided by a partner who had like 700 people.
Oh, that was when we were playing Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yeah. And we were just like, oh, hi.
What do I do?
That was really cool, but it was because we were, we stood out a little bit because we're 2 people on one stream. So we've got a little bit of advantage there. And then also whenever we cosplay, that also, like the first time I cosplayed in my dwarf costume while we were playing WoW, we had gotten a lot of people coming in. It's like, is that a dwarf playing World of Warcraft? You're like, yeah, dang straight it is.
And you kept it up so well. I had caught one of your streams where you both were cosplaying, and I was like, wow.
I have to do the accent whenever I'm wearing the costume. It's like, I can't stream and just be like, hey, I'm Eric, and like, I'm from Texas. I'm a dwarf from Texas.
And wearing costumes under the lights is not easy.
We
No,
actually, we
not
just
in, and especially
recently-
not in Texas.
Yeah, we just recently
yes.
got our AC fixed so that it would actually
Oh
cool
yeah,
our house
let's get
down.
a round of applause for the air conditioning getting fixed.
So whenever we're about to stream, we're like, bump that AC down, especially if we're wearing the costume. Make it cold as heck in here.
Before we go, because I cannot believe it's already like time has flown, but
oh no.
what is one thing about the other person that you don't think that they realize is a strength of theirs?
What is that?
No, just I was thinking, like, first off, I've already cried today.
I'm interested in this question.
Oh, I'm going first?
Yeah, go ahead. Jen's, no, I will say that Jen's is her personality and her sense of humor. Jen doesn't think she's as funny as she is. You guys don't even know how much I laugh because of her. Like, not when we're not streaming, we're just chilling out. Like, oh my God, there's so many times where we're laying in bed and she has me freaking rolling. Like, I can't breathe because she's freaking making me laugh so hard. And so I know it, and I think that Jen is often afraid to make jokes and to show that kind of thing on camera and stuff, but she's really funny.
It's because I say things and they're either like inappropriate or like I don't understand what words mean, so I say them and Eric's like, whoa, don't ever say that on stream again.
But it's so funny, and it works out so well. But you're also intentionally funny a lot, though, is what I'm saying.
Eric's very understanding and compassionate. Like, I don't think Eric would ever call himself compassionate, but like he like empathizes with like me and like other people. And I think that's the reason why he has such like a big heart and can like understand things. Don't cry.
I also have a big heart because I was born with a birth defect that was a big heart. No, I'm just kidding.
I would agree because Eric, I talked with you more than I talked with you, Jen, but I've talked with you, Eric, in DMs, and like I talk back and forth, and like even like the first one who's online, and I'm like reach out to you, and you've reached back, and that's been helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we hadn't heard from you in a little while, I was seriously like, I need to see what's going on with Fraz because we haven't heard from him. And I was like, I need to know
Eric
that
had
he's
asked like,
okay.
did we upset Fraz?
Yeah, I was like, I hope it didn't do anything to upset him, but you'd just had a lot of stuff going on, but it was something I was really concerned.
I appreciated that because I had a big like life schedule change at that moment, and it was cool to be like, wow, I had not been able to make a stream for a while, and then when you reached back, I was like, wow, I love you. I'm like, wow.
That's important sometimes. Like, if you have a friend or somebody that pops up in your mind, like sometimes instead of just, we asked each other, but then like Eric followed that up by like sending that message, like, especially this year, y'all, like, if there's somebody that pops in your head and you think of them, send them a message. See how they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it means so much more than you really like know.
I've had a few people that I've like reached out to because I'm thinking about them, and like some haven't responded back. Either I did make them mad or something, but others that respond back, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like I would never get messages from somebody who was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then I never get messages like that and turn around and just be like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to that person." I'm always just like, "Oh, it's going great." Like it doesn't, because it's nice to have people actually think about, wonder how it's going for you. In a time where you can't really see your friends in person, it's great to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that happens with RetroKid64 is my best friend, and there's often times where I'm just like, man, I haven't talked to him in so long, and so just send him a meme.
Just send him
Hey,
a meme.
look at this. So we'll have a good chuckle together real quick. But we actually sat there and talked to my brother on a voice chat today. I was calling him to help me with OBS. I was like, hey, I'm having some OBS issues. Can you help me out? Because he's really tech savvy too. And then after he helped me out a little bit, we ended up chatting with him and my sister-in-law for like an hour and a half,
Was it that long?
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was. And now we really need to do that with Retro and
We
Lugo.
do.
That is the true networking. like reaching out to people and not reaching out as like a streamer saying, hey, where's my sub, or hey, where have you been? But like being like, I care about you. And like the other streamers being like, I care about you. I want to be a better friend, because there are sometimes I go months. I'm like, I have not messaged this person in months. I need to. Whenever I reach out, it's always in a matter of I care about you, and like and I want to see how you're doing. Yeah,
because I mean, I always say you support people who you want to succeed, not people who you want to support you back.
So when we went to PAX South this year, people were like, oh, you're going to network. And I was like, I'm going to make friends.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I want more friends like that are also streamers and like that do things that I do.
And to think of how awesome it would have been if we were able to hang out with you next time for sure, Fraz. Like,
oh yeah,
because we hung out with some streamers that we had met, Asika and Tonzi, and then of course Loch Ness and Zaki Wack. We hung out with them like the whole time, and it was so freaking cool because we were like, hey, we're actual friends. Like we were, especially with Loch and Zaki Wack, like we were immediate friends. Like it was one of those things where, hey, you know, it's nice to meet you in person. And then we were just friends. We started talking like we had known each other for years. And it was like, okay, well, that's awesome. We're actually friends in real life, you know?
Yeah.
I'm honored to be able to be a friend of Hottie Chicken, and just because I think Hottie's an amazing person, and like we're going to go to Roscoe's and get chicken and waffles. I mean,
yes,
I've got no agenda other than wanting to be their friend, and with you, I've got no agenda other than I want to be your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's great because friends are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
and as you get older, they start to deplete. So just very cherish all of them.
Cherish them.
And even as you get older, even if they're like some of them die, some of them are still alive, and it's just like you've moved past away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could keep talking tonight because like there's so much more we didn't talk to. But I've always learned a reason. Find something to bring you back for, and I definitely want to bring you back because you two are fun.
True.
But where can we find you on the interwebs?
Twitch.tv/JenEricLive. That's where we stream. And then if you want any art stuff, emotes or anything like that, JenEricLive.com will send you to Eric's Etsy page.
Yeah. And I make all kinds of stuff like emotes, sub badges. I do custom character art and avatar art. And I also make wands. This is actually a wand that I'm currently in the process of making for a client. But I make wizard wands, like Harry Potter wands and stuff like that. Custom made. One of a kind.
What do you not do? You make cosplay. You make art. You make you weather Fallout things. What do you not do, Eric?
Prop making is my passion. If I could do what I could choose what I do for the rest of my life, it would be prop making. And so yeah, making wands is definitely one of those things. But I love to make cosplay more than I like to wear it.
Wow. Okay. So you've got another venture. You need to do cosplay. You need to make cosplay for people.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. Jack of all trades, but master of none is how that goes, Simi.
Yeah. And if you aren't able to be a master of a craft, your career might fall out.
Nah.
There it is. I was wondering where the puns were. We went a whole stream with almost no puns in it.
I got the segues this time without the puns, and then some episodes I get the puns and no segues. So it's like you get one or the other.
Activating customized 4% transporter.
This has been another awesome episode of FrazlCast. Take it away, FrazzlePants.
Thank you, Scruffy. Well, I am back in my Ironforge until we one day reclaim Gnomergon.
Wow, I'm a gnome.
I was on a few podcasts this week. I don't know how it all worked out in the timing of it, but I was on Unshackled Fury episode 77, Whispers of War episode 105, Girls Gone Wild episode 440, and Rotten Wither episode 10. Thank you to everyone for having me on your podcast. I had such a great time talking with all of you. These podcasts are amazing. Definitely check out each and every one of them. We all talked about different things on each of them, and I had a great time. Thank you so much, my friends. And Kara tweeted an awesome gif, basically saying, my face when Frazley said what they said on episode 178 of FrazlCast. That was the one with the Blizzmates. Then I was browsing Reddit, and I saw that L. Skunston was asking about WoW Podcast, and they mentioned listening to this show. Thank you so much. This is the first time I've ever seen FrazlCast appear on Reddit. Other than the official FrazlCast subreddit that hasn't really gotten anywhere other than like a post by me. But thank you so much, my friend. And then Blue Microphones was kind enough to send me out a Blue Yeti X World of Warcraft edition for review. And I have got a video on YouTube of my thoughts on this. And Miss CCQ was asking about the volume mic around the dials being runes. And I said, yep, these are absolutely runes from the World of Warcraft edition. And she said, either way, it's a really nice looking mic. Also good video. It sounds all right. I can tell the difference between it and your usual mic. The voice changing with Streamlabs is a really good idea. Maybe one day. But yeah, if I ever need a mic or if I see the Yeti X Wow mic in the wild, I'll probably keep this stuff in mind. Thank you for watching this. This was one of my first Product Review Size Impressions video, and I had a fun time making it. This was my impression, and yours may differ on the Blue Yeti X, and that's absolutely okay. Over on the Warcraft Radio podcast directory, Demeter Noth posted a review saying Frazley is one of the very first people I came to know in the podcasting community. They are a huge asset to the community. The show is an extension of that incredibly helpful, enthusiastic, and passionate personality. They treat each guest with dignity and warmth, which enables the guest to open up, and you really get to know the interviewee. My favorite episode to date was the one with Death Mephisto. A brilliant listen if you've not heard it before. Stay awesome. Oh, thank you, Demi. And that episode with Death Mephisto was amazing. And by the way, check out Demeter Noth on the Third Faction Show. That is another awesome community podcast. Demeter Noth and Brico are doing an amazing job over there. Over on Twitch, I got some really fun news. I'm working on a major change to my overlay. I've hired a graphic designer who is redoing my brand to make it really, really cute. It's just a lot of awesome purple. I've already seen the previews and I cannot wait to show it to you. I'm also working on redoing some of the channel points and sounds. Like now when you do exclamation point lurk and exclamation point lurking, it now properly plays the lurk sound effect. No more need to redo exclamation point redeem lurk. I've also added some more sound effects to the FrazlCast channel points. Gnome Train, Rimshot.
Wow, I'm a gnome.
And I'm thinking of adding more. I'm also working on making it where when I do my horror games, you can redeem it with channel points and it'll pull from any of the screams that I've added to the library. So a lot of really cool things are being added to Twitch and I cannot wait for you all to see these. This has been 2 years of consistent streaming on Twitch. And I gotta say, we have only just begun. And every week, in addition to thanking those who give back to the show with inspiring words, I like to thank those who give back to the show financially. Thank you to my patrons out there. Thank you to Cap, Defayed, and Scissor Lord. Thank you to Austin, Lil Weird, Rooster80, and StartThe Live for the gifted subs this week. And thank you to my Twitch subs out there. Thank you to Amanda of Geek Caring, Austin of Frank's Hot Sauce Guild, Bells of Bronze List, Burkhart, Cap, Crunk, Cuffy of Charactercraft, Demi of Third Faction Show, Dennis, Epic and Sandy of Frozen Nerds, Fantasy, Granddad of WoW, Haleonix, Harlow, Jared of Merely a Setback and Walkin' and Talkin', JenEricLive, Jersey, Jess, Jetta, Jendon, Josk Monster, Carinsa, Kawasaki, Lil Weird, Look It's Grandma, Lucas of Cardiac Valley, Marty of Tuners Maybe More and Wow It's Marty, Michael of Tuners Maybe More and All Hollow Scream, Monica of Geek Hearing, Pandagosa, Rig of Charactercraft, Sash of Translucidity, Scissor Lord, Sharkbutt Live, Spaz Weston, Telleroid, Tom of 3 Extra Lives, Uncle Will 6, Vagabond Plays Games, Vatrin the Druid, Veteran Forces Gaming, Zorts the Goblin, and Yeffine. And then get a Cardfreck, Granddad of WoW, Perfect Nomad, Sharkbutt Live, Scissor Lord, and Vagabond Plays Games for the bits these past 2 weeks. If you want to support this show financially, please go to support.gnomepodcast.com. And if you have Prime Gaming through Amazon Prime, you can use your free subscription on my channel and get access to ad-free viewing and awesome emotes. And all of your support goes to helping support this labor of love. Thank you so much. I really cannot overstate how much I appreciate this. This is a labor of love with a goal of one day possibly being part of my career. So thank you so much. It really, really, really means a lot. Well, I'm Frazley, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. And find out many of the places where you can subscribe to the show to get the Gnome Train coming to you every single time it rolls in the station. Well, until next time, be awesome, my friends.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard Games, and they are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended. This show is for the community, and it contains contributions from the community. The Gnome Train intro is by Allie of Dungeon Fables and All Things Azeroth. The opening music is by Brandon T. Blaylock. The Gnome Roar is by Jen of Morley Grey Podcast. And the Frazzle Pants bumper at the end is by the Scruffy Druid of Loot Optional and Viral Voice Arts.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com. FrazlCast.com.
It's been fun. Farewell!